very esteemed members who have logged on to this very important webcast that is being organized by the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee. As the chairman of the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee, it is my proud privilege to welcome each and every one of you. On the screens, you have here with us the Honorable past chairman of the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee, the present Central Council member, and currently the chairman of the Students Skill Enrichment Board, convener of the Members and Student Services Directorate, CA Sushil Kumar Ji Goyal. He is our mentor in the committee, and today at Hyderabad, when all of us have assembled for the institute's work, sir was kind enough when I requested him that he should come and deliver the inaugural address for this clause 44 in GST webcast that we are organizing today. Sushil sir, we welcome you on behalf of the committee, and we also thank you for all the favors that you have been doing us and blessing us in all these years as the past chairman and also as a mentor. On my right, I have CA Muppala Sridhar sir, a very enterprising, intelligent, and a person who always has that passion for the institute, for the studies, for the academics. In fact, CA Muppala Sridhar sir is, I can say, more than a hero or cult status he has attained in these years in the institute, among the institute members and students. He was also present here today, and I requested him that, sir, you please come and deliver the special address to our members in this nebulous clause for which they think. And sir, welcome to you to our committee webcast today, and I thank you for being with us here. And on my extreme left, with a red color tie, you will find the beautiful face of CA Umesh Sharma, whom all of you know is currently the vice chairman of the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee, and a great resource, I must say, in this committee. And the committee has been blessed to have such a knowledgeable person on the GST aspects. Friends, clause 44. 4 plus 4 is 8. And those who believe in numerology, those who understand numerology, will acknowledge when I say that 8 is one of the most important numbers in numerology. And as Vice Chairman says, we are now four-seated here. Now, this number 8 denotes so many things: confusion, determination, strength, and so on. And in Hindu mythology, it is said that number 8 denotes Shani Bhagwan or Shani Dev. And wherever there is Shani Dev, excellent things will happen sometimes. And sometimes things can go wrong so badly, even without your intention, without your knowledge. That is number 8. But they say, if you perform proper penance, if you do proper puja, if you invoke the right gods, then the effect of number 8 is always the best. And here, the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee and the Direct Taxes Committee have come out with an excellent guidance on clause 44. We are here seated today to talk with all of you. It will be a monologue, and not a dialogue. Before we commence our proceedings, may request our Honorable Chief Guest, CA Sushil Kumar Ji Goyal, to please deliver the inaugural address and kickstart these discussions, of course, after the special address of Muppala Sridhar sir. Over to Sushil sir.
Thank you, CA Arcade Rajendra Kumar, Central Council member from Chennai and GST Committee Chairman, taking the most responsible role, because the entire country now looking for the chairman, GST committee, give us solution, because although it is a clause 44, which is related to income tax audit, but the data which is required by the government is related to GST. I think chairman has represented that through direct tax committee that this data is a repetition of work, because too many data are getting collected in GST itself on 9 and 9C getting filed there. So whatever they require, they are collecting there. This will be a repetition of work, more so because of the reason I will tell you after that. But I must say, RKY reaching to the state government, reaching to the central government, trying to do the outreach programs and definitely discussing whether this type of roads should come in income tax or not. Doing great services, organizing this webcast in the month of September when everybody is worried what to do for clause 44. Definitely will help each member, and some queries in your mind definitely getting answered. On my left, Vice Chairman, it is Mesh Sharma from Aurangabad, Central Council member and Vice Chairman of GST Committee. But he is more known as Karni person. Have so many videos, so many write-ups in the newspaper, and covering all amendments coming in the law. We have with us Sridhar Mobala, Central Council member from Hyderabad. All as chairman has mentioned, all we are here in Hyderabad only. And Sridhar having huge knowledge of the education field, contributing with me as vice chairman in the student skill enrichment board, where we are taking care of the soft skill of the student. One thing I must say, or rather I should raise the questions before the speaker, because the chairman and vice chairman going to take the session today. This clause 44 requires very detailed calculations, which is business is not ready. I must say business is not ready because they have not recorded their transactions, considering that they have to answer in this form. Nobody is taking care of if somebody is procuring supplies from the composition dealer. They are not keeping it separately. They are not calculated it separately. If somebody is paying service tax under reverse charge, say for transport operator, where they will put this figure? I am not finding any right place to put this figure where you are liable to pay tax under reverse charge. Because if you say that they are not registered, then government may get another different type of information that so many supplies have been procured from unregistered person, because they have not made a column for reverse charge mechanism. The supplies, because they are talking about the expenses where GST is payable, where I am a person who is going to pay GST under reverse charge. I am receiving a supply from a registered person sometime, and sometime I am going to receiving the same supplies from unregistered. I think that definitely this chairman and vice chairman will try to give the answer. How to accommodate this particular query in the table when we progress with the program. But I must say, must congratulate chairman for organizing this program, which is need of the hour, and everybody is looking for more than I think so many people joined across the country, and I have no doubt might be this number is at the beginning always less, but this type of seminars organized through webinar mode, we always have more than 10,000 viewers, and this time also it will be there. So over to chairman back again. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Sushil Goel sir. We certainly have noted your concerns, and wherever appropriate, we will take into the government, whichever government that is dealing with all these things. And yes, I would reassure you that this clause 44 will certainly undergo a change very soon. If not this assessment year, maybe next assessment year, we'll have a change. And as Sushil sir said, we have here with us CA Sridhar Mobala, who is from Hyderabad, and who is a giant in the field of education, who is Bahubali, I must say, from this particular region. Bala Sridhar sir, please speak to us and share your wisdom.
Thank you, RK sir. Good evening, one and all. So let me first share the three people sitting over here are known for the GST. One who was leading the committee in the last years, Sushil sir, who is our chairman. And next, RK sir, if at all I have to say the GST or anything, probably he'll replicate his word because the number of states he has gone through till now, the number of officials he has met, I always wonder the energy with which he is carrying and representing the institution and the members on behalf with all the government officials. And my colleague and my close friend, Mr. Umesh, is there, ever smiling and more interactive. These two, the way they are leading the GST committee, I'm sure it will really help all the members as well as the stakeholders. So today, let me share, we had a seminar just now at Hyderabad, a physical seminar on tax audit, guidance note of the revised guidance note. And I was surprised to see that the direct tax committee chairman, a lot of questions were put on this class 44. Yes. So I was thinking, when will this session happen? But I didn't know that RKSR has planned today. I'm sure so many queries when I have seen, it's the time that we need to have such clarification. We need to have such interactive session. I really appreciate both the chairman and vice chairman for taking the initiative. And I also expect that some things are carried forward in the future. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Sridhar sir.
Before RK started speaking, taking the session, let me say a few words about Rajendra Bhai. He is not only taking care in India about GST, we are doing so many walks in this UAE where that is introduced there, and he is also visiting regularly to this Paris organization where he is representing India. Where he was with me when we were in the World Custom Organizations, and he is also, I think, still he is the president of the International Indirect Tax Forum, which is situated in Chennai, and a winner of so many awards and recognitions. So over to RK sir for the deliberation of the topic.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. But friends, class 44. All of you will know that it's compulsory from this particular assessment year to comment on class 44. And the Direct Taxes Committee has come out with an excellent guidance, I must say. But nevertheless, there is this particular guidance is prone to many changes. This is the first time that we introduced it. But I always say, I'm sitting in Hyderabad, a city known for the software skills and potentials. That when you test a software in a test environment, it behaves in an excellent manner. It comes out with numerous issues. But then when in a real time when the software is tested, that is where the real test happens. That is where the real issues come out. So the guidance for that we have prepared is in a test environment. Thanks. So once it is left tested in a real time environment as is happening today with all of us. You will come out with various issues. Sir, this is the problem. This is the problem. This is where we are stuck. That is where we are stuck. In fact, the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee is going to come up with very soon with the communication to all of you that what were the issues that you faced in this class, but were kindly let us know, so that we can influence the Direct Taxes Committee, who is always ready to listen, who is ready to change, who is always willing to give a patient listening. That this class 44 that we have written today will undergo a change based on your requirements, based on what you would like to add. But Umesh Sharma is seated here. I request him, our Vice Chairman, sir, to please begin this proceeding so that we will have a dialogue kind of facility here and ensure that we have an interactive session today. Sir, thank you, Sushil sir, and thank you, Sridhar sir. I know both of you are busy. Both of you are also extremely tied up with various other works. So we thank you for your presence here, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, boss.
Good evening, my dear friends. Let's start our deliberations on clause 44. Today, to discuss on clause 44, we will be having a dialogue between Chairman sir and you people all, and I will be the moderator as such. So, Chairman sir, when we discuss this clause 44, as you started in a very correct way, the heading of this clause 44 starts with breakup of total expenditure of entities registered or not registered under GST.
Yes.
And this is under income tax. It's a tax audit. The tax audit is done by income tax, and they are asking the information whether the total expenditure which is incurred by the taxpayer who is under tax audit, whether these are from registered or not registered under GST. So the first point which I want to discuss with you, sir, that the total expenditure which is there in the heading, what we should cover in that.
Wonderful, sir. It's a very nice question, very important question that Umesh sir has put for our answering. But he also would like to pitch in. This is this total expenditure. Now, what is expenditure? Expenditure is something where you have spent money or money as a item of consideration has been exchanged. Not only money, in terms of money also. Which means there are certain charges in a profit and loss account. In fact, the tax audit commences when? Sir, I think the tax audit commences when the trial balance is ready. When the balance sheet and profit and loss account is drawn up, isn't it? So you on the debit side of a P&L account, you have the list of expenditures that have been recorded. Now, what is being asked is total. It is not breakup that they are asking. Yes, they are asking the total expenditure. In fact, many members have come up and said that, sir, should we give individual breakup of each and every head? No, that is not the intention. That is what is clarified in the guidance also, that it is total expenditure of entities registered or not registered under GST. This is what is being asked. You need to have a breakup of both registered as well as unregistered. Now, how do you have it? As we proceed today, we will try to give you some solutions as to how you will need to record those expenditures.
Yes. Now,
Yes.
sir, there is another general query that the total expenditure, whether it should cover revenue as well as capital.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Sir, in fact, if you read the guidance note, esteemed members, the guidance note provides a solution to this. When they say that no distinction to be made as far as revenue and capital is concerned when it comes to expenditure. Even this particular clause 44, the 82, if you can see that serial number above,
Yes.
it is as per our guidance note, right?
Yeah.
It does not distinguish between capital and revenue. It means both should be there.
Yes. And the next most important question coming is, if the person is having a tax audit compliance in income tax,
Yes.
but he is not registered
Yes, sir.
in GST.
Yes, sir.
So in such cases, whether we have to report this clause under income tax also. So this is very important issue, sir.
Very good questions. In fact, here I would like you to answer this question because in my view, I would like to take your view first before I'm prompted to give my view.
Yes.
Can you please give your view, sir?
Yes.
This question is, whether a person who is getting this tax audit done, he himself is not registered. Whether such person is liable for this disclosure. Please, sir.
Yes. According to the tax audit compliance under income tax, if the assessee is liable to get this tax audit done, whether its turnover is above or in such cases where he is showing 8% and below the presumptive taxation. In such cases, there may be some assessees who are not registered in GST, but this clause is asked under income tax. So if tax audit is covered, then according to us, this disclosure need to be given. Now, even though he is not registered in GST, the disclosure needs to be given as per this clause. But sir, the practical difficulty what our practicing community is asking, that he is not registered, he is not required to maintain books of accounts under GST law, or he has not drafted his accounting software in such a fashion that information is available. So in this special case, where they are not registered under GST, but the information needs to be given in tax audit. In such case, can few notes or disclaimers?
Wonderful, Umesh sir. In fact, you really brought out a very valid point here. Then what if I am not registered in GST, but my books of accounts have to be audited under section 44AB, and why I am not registered? I have 8% or whatever it may be, presumptive taxation and all those stuff. So I don't need to maintain the books of accounts and records and so on and so forth. GST is also not applicable, so I am not registered. So where do I go for this data? Should I report? See, maintenance of records as per GST law is not required. As per income tax also it might require because 8%. This is clause 44, Income Tax Act. And as I rightly told by you, data has to be given. But there is a practical issue here. The practical problem here is this is the first year. I have not maintained anything. Maybe some data is there, some data is not there. So what we were discussing, myself and the vice chairman sir and also a few others in the committee, that to the extent possible, please give the data. Otherwise, there's one last line in the guidance note, which comes to, in fact, your rescue, which says that if at all nothing is possible, where something is not possible, we can always give reasons, as to why such data is not possible to be given. But some data will be there. We do not tell the department director, no, I can't give anything, nothing is there, I'm incapable of giving the data. Do give some data, which is available there. Let them know that you have done your duty, you have done your job, and to the extent possible.
Okay. Now, sir, the next important issue comes. They are asking breakup of total expenditure. Now, in my profit and loss account, say for example, 1 lakh rupees is my total expenditure. I am having 10,000 of depreciation. I am having 5,000 of provisions. I am having 2,000 of bad debts. Then certain profession tax, provident fund payments are also debited, which are the taxes. And most important, schedule 3 items, that is salary, is also debited. Now, how to start? Whether we have to show 1 lakh as a total expenditure in this, or shall we reduce 1 lakh out of that depreciation and then disclose net here?
There are 7 clauses. Let us leave the first clause. The second clause deals with total amount of expenditure incurred during the year. And then the next clause is divided into 3, 4, 5, and 6, where various other details have been asked. So this is total expenditure, then bad debts, depreciations, provision also will not come here. So those which are actual expenditures in accounting terminology, those expenditures alone will have to be shown here. It is not that the total of the P&L account will come here, debit side, no. Debit side of P&L account will not come here. It's not the left-hand side of P&L account which will come here. Total of, let's say, it is 1 lakh. If 10,000 is depreciation, 10,000 is provision, 10,000 is, let us say, bad debts, then balance amount is 70,000. So 70,000 is the total expenditure. Now that 70,000 may contain Schedule 3 expenses also, sir.
Yes.
In fact, Schedule 3 of the CGST Act. In fact, Schedule 3 of the CGST Act says that which is not service, that which is not supply of goods also. Which means entire Schedule 3 items are outside the ambit of the CGST Act. They have got nothing to do with GST. Nothing to do with GST. That is why the guidance note also says that you need not report anything on salaries and emoluments to employees. So, in my view, sir, you first take 1 lakh, reduce 10, 10, 10, which is then 70, and assume 20 salaries and emoluments to the employees. So, the total expenditure for the purposes of this class is 50,000.
Right.
Is my view, sir.
Perfect, sir.
So, you can also give your view.
Yes, we are also of the same view. So I hope that we have deliberated much more on the heading of the clause, because dear friends, please go through the heading and then you start your working so you can reach to the destination. Now, sir, let's move to the table and the headings of each table. So now we discussed the column number 2. That is the total amount of expenditure incurred during the year.
Yes.
And as rightly pointed out by Chairman sir also, it's a incurred during the year.
Yes, sir. All of us are accountants here. What I would suggest, sir, this total amount of expenditure, let them first put the total of the debit of bill line. And then say, less, these are appropriate depreciation, bad debts, reduce it.
In working.
That is, let total expenditure be A, B will be your appropriations, etc. And balance you get C, and D, let it be salary, so that effective disclosure is made. Effective disclosure is made. Yes.
In SA 700, they can give the reconciliation along with the notes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right, sir. Right. Perfect. Now we go to the headings. Sir, column number 2 is now freeze.
Yes.
Now we move to the next heading. Expenditure in respect to entities registered under GST.
Exactly.
So here they are asking for the expenditure which is from the registered entities. Now, get registered under GST. There is one peculiar query coming in. Like in case of cotton ginning industry, yes, they are purchasing from agriculturists, cotton, and agriculturist is not required to register under GST. Now the question is coming whether to report that under registered or under unregistered, because that person is not required to register.
In fact, if you look at this column and the next column, expenditure related to entities, not this. Now, what is entity? Entity does not mean an establishment alone. Entity does not mean a commercial concern. Entity does not mean only a corporate body. Entity means any person for that matter. So it can be an individual, it can be a corporate body, it can be an NGO. It can be a charity organization, whosoever it may be. So when you say agriculturist who need not be registered, then automatically a person registered with the GST means what? They must have a GST number. This is elementary, and all of us know this. Registered with the GST number should be there, that's all. GST number is not there, automatically the person goes to plus.
Yeah. But here, sir, many our practicing members are of the view that in case of the ginning and all the agro-based industry, if they put that amount in column number 7, it will be near about 60 to 80%. It can be so. They want to put a note that this is from the agriculturists who are not required.
Please let them put.
They can reduce that expenditure from column.
No. Please don't do that. Please, in fact, please don't do that. In the last column report, and you give a note. No one is preventing you from giving a note. In fact, clause 44 is is not a clause that to make a roving inquiries. It is not a clause to make roving inquiries. The government, I'll tell you sir, one more reason here because we are in a public program. GST audit was a compulsion. And somehow, due to various force of various state governments in India, etc., the GST audit was removed. Till this time, GST audit was there. Clause 44 was not mandatory. They had not even notified it. But the moment the GST audit got removed, the income tax department jumped on this. Because they wanted to ensure through this clause that whatever data that is reported is correct, and they wanted to get some statistical data out of it as to what is the quantum of the amount that goes through unregistered people who don't contribute any taxes. And that is my view, sir. In fact, you have been asking me some questions, and now it is my turn to ask you also, because you are also a big subject expert, a person who writes in newspapers, you have a person who addresses numerous programs. Whenever I call him, he'll be in some seminar or the other. In fact, look at this clause 3, sir. Yes. Relating, that is expenditure in respect of entities registered under GST, relating to goods or services exempt from GST. Yeah. So, sir, I would like to ask you your view on what is this exempt from GST? Yeah. Is it exempt as a whole, which is nil rate? Is it exempt through a notification? What is this exemption all about? Can you please throw light on this?
Yes. Actually, we are interacting and we are discussing in ourselves. So I am happy that I am also part of that discussion. Yes. The exempt, if we go by GST, CGST law, there is a definition of exempt supply. And that exempt supply definition is a very vast definition. It covers bill rated, it's covered exempted, that is the notified, and it's covered non-GST supplies also. So whenever we are referring to some particular work, if it is not defined under income tax, then we have to refer it to GST. And in GST, if that word is not defined, then we go for the another index. But in GST, it is defined. So exempt includes the
This is one particular point here, sir.
Yeah.
Let us assume that there is a bar which is selling alcoholic liquor.
Yes.
Alcoholic liquor.
Yes.
Now, their total expenditure may be, let us say, 10 crores. 10 crores is the total expenditure toward various purchases and so on and so forth.
in case of petrol pump also.
In case of petrol pump also. Now, petrol per se, whether it is within the purview of GST or not, alcoholic liquor is in the purview of GST or not. Many people have come and asked this question in the committee also. So I would like to tell you, friends, petrol is within the purview of GST, no doubt about it, because if you look at the supply, the concept of supply, and then and section 9 of the CGST Act, there is a mention of petrol. Till such time the GST Council recommends petrol will be kept outside the GST only. But alcoholic liquor constitutionally is the responsibility of the state governments. But unfortunately, it forms part of aggregate turnover. Yeah, it forms part of aggregate turnover and non-GST items, as you say. Non-GST means is neither a supply nor a supply of service nor goods. But alcoholic liquor, unfortunately, finds a mention in aggregate turnover. And then, according to me, here you give a particular note that this particular exempt also includes its total amount which constitutes alcoholic liquor or petrol and so on. That is my view.
Yes, correct, sir. And friends, why we are discussing so much, there may be few questions which are unanswered. There may be few questions which can be covered through books, and some questions which can be answered. And yes, this is the first year of our deliberation in this clause 44. And as rightly pointed out by Chairman sir, due to the reporting, due to the more mature discussion, next year we can come up with more refinement. And please tell your clients to get the data ready this year. Because each year we have to report it. Now there is no rollback for this. We have to report it. So start reporting wherever possible. Now, sir, let's go to the second sub clause. The second clause 4. The clause 4 is relating to the entities falling under composition scheme.
Yes.
So, sir, now many dealers are there. They don't get ITC. So they have not accounted in this accounting software.
Yes.
This composition purchases or inputs from the composition scheme. And very few of our professional brothers and sisters are thinking that they will not put anything under 4. But balancing they will put under section 7. So whether it is the correct way.
Sir, in fact, composition supplies received from the composition dealer. But the composition dealer shall issue a bill of supply. Now, we don't, as of today, I don't think anyone would have maintained the data in such a manner that the purchasers assume the purchases which are being made, everything is in one block. There is no distinction between a composition purchase from a composition dealer purchase from a taxable dealer, person who is paying GST. Hence, if you look at the guidance for friends, there's one particular clause which will help you. Of course, this is the beginning of the year, so let us, there's one clause number 82.11. In fact, I will read out this clause, friends. It is, they will come on your screen now, 82.11. Yeah, this is the clause. In case of ineligible tax credits, which are blocked under section 17(5) of CGST Act, or in case of purchases from persons registered under composition levy, it is a normal practice of small and medium taxpayers not to mention the GSTN of the said suppliers in their accounting software. Hence, a suitable remark, so reference in this regard by the tax auditor may be included in the report. As I told in the beginning, friends, to the extent possible, let us report. Where it is not possible, please include a clause saying that we have done whatever is required, whatever data is available, we have shared, and the balance data is not being recorded, being the first year of clause 44. Include that also. Say the first year of clause 44, it has not been done, and steps are being taken to change the accounting software to meet the suitable requirements as required by clause 44. That is my view. So you can
Correct. And it is covered in our guidance.
Yes.
Yes. So, dear friends, please report it. And if you are not possible to report it, put it into the notes. Suitable
In
remarks.
fact, Mesh sir, this clause 5, which
Now,
you're going to
yeah,
take it
now,
now.
yeah.
I want your view on this, what they say relating to other registered entities.
Now, if we take the total table in a holistic reading, then we come down here to registered entities, split into exempt, split into composition, and then comes relating to other registered entities. So here, the major thrust in column number 5 will be of reporting the items where ITC is taken by the dealer or by the assessee. And we think that this will be a major item in our table. Maximum amount should come here if we are having correct accounting policies followed and the returns of GST, the input tax credits are properly accounted for. So, whatever reporting will be coming here in column number 5, that will be from the other registered entities, means those who are not under composition and those who are not in exempt supplies. That is column number 3 and column number 4. We remove it and put that figure in column number 5. So here, sir, listen,
But I wanted to ask you one
Yeah,
question
so
before you ask me.
yeah, so
In fact, majority of our professional brothers and sisters who do the GST work.
Yeah.
Who do the tax audit work. They also do compliance works for their clients. They also do the compliance work. They file the returns on a monthly basis. They get the data, they file the returns. They also prepare GSTR 9 or 9C wherever applicable. That our client wants to do. They also do the comparison with the GSTR 2A and so on. Now, how does the various GST forms which are being filed by the registered person for GST purpose will come handy or will be of help to our professional brother who is doing the tax audit with respect to filling up of this class file?
yes, as rightly pointed out by sir, the other forms means 2A, 2B, this will where the ITC is taken or a block credit is there, it will be a very useful. There may be a cases where there is a one single PAN, but the entity is having different GST number for different state. So we have to collect complete data and make a reconciliation. According to the tax audit requirement, this data will come from the books of accounts. So whatever there is in books of account, please report it. But as pointed out and as we are discussing, a reconciliation with the GST can be done in the working paper wherever possible, because in future there may be some question asked from both the authorities, or when the filing of annual return comes or for Form 9C comes also, that data will be handy. And being a first year, there may be some issues, but in the long run, we must synchronize, reconcile the data which we are reporting in income tax as well as in GST.
In fact, friends, there are many entities which are registered across the country. And some entity may be registered in 20 different states. Tax audit is of one seat, that all the branches and everything together, the tax audit is done of the company as a whole and not the 20 entities. In fact, sometimes the tax audit is centralized. Don't have an individual breakup and all those. Sometimes tax audit reports are got from each and every state tax auditor, and then it is collated and then it is consolidated and prepared. So the challenge will come when the entities have multiple registrations. And this is going to pose a challenge in this year, which is the first year disclosures as well as possible. How do you address? What in your view is the guidance that we can give our members who are watching us today?
Yeah, I will recommend that put it as per books of accounts. Wherever possible, make a reconciliation with the different GST number returns which are there, and make a columnar state-wise trial balance, because many times in GST audit we were supposed to give that data for 9C preparation and reconcile that wherever it is possible. That is my suggestions.
So in fact, many members have come and told me that, sir, our work has increased. Class 44 has ensured that our work has increased, but who is going to pay? Yes, friends, you're all right, our work has increased. But then who is going to pay? Well, I cannot address that question directly here because we are on the air now. But let me tell you, by notifying this class 44, the government has placed enormous trust and confidence on the chartered accountant fraternity. And it is time that we answer to that call, trust and confidence that the government has put on us, and ensure that the government's designs, the past, of taking away the tax audit from the chartered accountant and distributing it to others also is thwarted very effectively. This is one chance for us to prove that we are second to none in terms of reporting and second to none in terms of ensuring the compliances are properly done by the persons who are registered under the income tax or the GST. Now coming to this clause 6, total payment to registered entities. In your view, sir, if you can look at the tax audit guidance note clause number 82.13, where we have provided a guidance on this particular clause there. Expenditure the language used in subheading of column 6 is total payment to registered entities. The word payment should be harmoniously interpreted as expenditure, because expenditure is what is asked, and it is not the payment alone. So payment here, one more meaning would be expenditure, the dictionary meaning. So it is not that only what is actually paid by cash or check or barter that should be included. It is also outstanding. Whatever is outstanding is also payment. So that also has to be included. That is what is we are trying to say in this particular clause.
Okay.
Because in the next clause we can take it.
Yeah.
Because it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 paragraphs for that, 4 paragraphs for column 7.
Yes. So friends, so here arithmetically speaking, your total of 3, 4 and 5 column will be column number 6. Now we move towards the second half of our discussion. First half was related to the registered entities between first exam, second composition, and then other entities. Now we are going to the second half, that is 7, column number 7. And please remember, this is not the balancing figure of total expenditure minus column number 6. Yes. So sir, the heading is expenditure relating to entities not registered under GST. So here, what needs to be reported?
In fact, I will tell you, sir, go to class number 2. You go to class number 2,
Yeah.
you have a breakup. The breakup of 50. We discuss 100, 10 goes to salaries, 10 goes to depreciation, 10 goes to package.
Yeah.
The balance is 70.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course 10 is provisions. So that is 70. And 20 is salary and emoluments to employees. So balance remaining is 50. Okay. The easiest way would be, and then easiest way can be like this. You go to the 50 rupees, go to class 6. It talks about total payment to registered entities. That comes to 30. Balance figure is 20. Balance figure is 20. That is one of the easiest ways of approaching this. Saying that yes, so balance is only 20, which is unregistered. I have found that it is only unregistered entities. Let us try to do some work on this. Because that is what we are trying to say in your first clause, that is 82.14. The value of inward supply of goods and services received from unregistered persons should be reported here. It should be ensured that the total of column 6 and 7 tallies with the amount mentioned in column 2. See, except to the extent of expenditures to element mentioned in para 8.2, 8.3, the auditor may retain the reconciliation paper by the specified application.
Perfect. Perfect.
This is what the guidance that we have given.
Yes. Yes.
In fact, you're not out of place to say here that the whole class 44 guidance was drafted by our. You are also aware of that. It is just inform our members. So that we can made your task much easier here. Yes, there is some, see, whenever there is a change, whenever there is a beginning, some difficulty is always there. So we have made an effort to ensure that things become easier, things are not very complicated. And in fact, you are doing an audit. You are not doing something which is very small job excel. It's an audit that is being done, and let us do it in the best manner possible. What is your take on this, sir?
Yes, sir. As rightly pointed out by you, sir, our practice should be like that only, that total expenditure minus allowances and our clause 8.8.3, except that it shows 3 items, and whatever net comes, that gets to be split up to column number 6, and balance can come to column number 7. But sir, yes, now the question, if the maximum amount goes in column number 7, so many members are asking, you can go that my URD percentage goes up, whether I will receive any notice or any intimation.
No, friend. See, I have purchased from unregistered dealer. It's not a crime. I have accounted it. Not accounted it, then it doesn't give you accounted it. So the government, what they want to do, they'll pick up this data and try to find out what is the total turnover in this country, which the trading industry is buying from unregistered people, from those who don't contribute to the exchequer. In fact, the government's aim here is to ensure that everyone pays their at least fair amount of taxes.
Yes.
The government wants to do a study, in fact.
Yes.
And we are the course to that study.
Yes. And as rightly pointed out by sir, the government intention when the GST was brought in to have URD purchases or inputs under reverse charge mechanism.
Yes.
But after October 2017, it was removed. But the intention of the removal was different. But this clause was supposed to give the ready-made information to that, that whatever URD is there, whether reverse charge and this goes off or not. But today, when the reverse charge is not there, so this is, though it may not be relevant for GST people, but it will be as pointed out for you, it may be relevant for the income tax and
Yes.
government.
In fact, in 82.17, we have suggested one format.
Yeah.
You can collate the data in this format. This will help and retain this as a part of your working papers.
Yes.
In fact, you are talking about reverse charge mechanisms.
Yeah.
Numerous questions have been asked.
Yes, yes.
Hey, what is reverse charge mechanism? Where do I, even the chairman, former chairman was telling, where do I report it? As a practice, as a chartered accountant, as a vice chairman, I would like to know your view also to our members, and then we can freeze on a particular aspect of this.
Sir, whenever we go through these breakup
In
asks,
fact, you please take it up through.
Yeah.
How does a reverse charge gets triggered?
Yeah.
Yes.
so when we go through this breakup of total expenditure of entity registered or not registered. So that is the total expenditure which I have purchased or I have inward supplied from the parties who are not paying GST, but I have to pay the GST because I am the recipient. So reverse charge is a concept where under GST the recipient pays the tax, and there are specified goods and there are specified services on which the recipient has to pay. There they have not mentioned whether the supply is registered or unregistered. So the question of registered and unregistered of the supplier is not there. Say I am taking security services from a company who is providing security guard and personnel to my company. So I am paying under reverse charge, but that company is registered. It may be registered, it may be providing some other services. So they are registered. So if the supplier is a registered person, and even though I am paying the tax or reverse charge, it will go into column number 5. That is relating to registered other registered entities, column number 5. So my answer to the question is, when it is from the registered person, the supplier is registered, the recipient is registered, it will go into column number 5. Exactly. Now we come down to the second, where the supplier is unregistered and I have to pay reverse charge. Same set of period. The security personnel providing companies unregistered because they are only in the business of security supplies. And I am taking that as an inward supply services. I am paying reverse charge. So in this case, the supplier is unregistered. So it will shift to column number 7. Expenditure related to entities not registered under GST.
Wonderful, sir. So, what I understand, I will sum it up, what I understand. So you can tell me whether my understanding is correct or not. I am receiving a supply from one entity. And I have to pay reverse charge on that supply. I will have to see whether that supplier is registered or unregistered. If that supplier is registered and still I have to pay under reverse charge, which is a possibility in GST, my reporting is under class 5. Okay. Where that supplier is not at all registered, I am paying the reverse charge, my reporting is under class 7. In fact, members, please don't relate your expenditure to the GST component. Please don't relate directly. In fact, what is asked is what registered entities have. My expenditure is to a registered entity. I have paid under reverse charge. Guarantee matter. Let us not go beyond and try to confuse the what to do, where is the question of reverse charge, where should I report extra? Not required. Whether the supplier is registered, unregistered, that's all you have to look into. Yes. That is the first thing you have to look into. And then do a reporting accordingly. Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir. Now,
Yes.
It's 6 o'clock. We have the n number of questions.
Lot of questions will be there.
So,
But I would like to take the last class. Sir.
Within 5 to 10 minutes, we will.
Last class, please take 82.18. Yes, we have given appropriate guidance, and after a lot of deliberations that happened on the council table, we introduced a last line where the assessee has provided reasons for not being able to provide details. The same may be reported. That 3 words, if found appropriate, is important. So when you are not able to give the data as required, is not in a position to give adequate disclosures as required, please take it in writing from the registered person, from the assessee. Please take it from there. And those reasons may be reported in the tax audit guidance note. And yes, sir. Please, this point also you can mention there. Yeah. Where we which class?
Or we will take it.
Yeah, we're taking questions.
Yes.
Now,
Sir, what the question is there? There are a few sayings or rumors or suggestions going on that appropriate disclosure versus disclaimer. And many people are going that appropriate disclosure and disclaimer. So can we distinguish what is meant by disclaimer and what is meant by disclosure? Just for example,
yes.
if the entity is not registered in GST, he need not maintain the record in the accounting standard. I am doing the tax audit. Can I do disclaimer that the data is not provided? And second question, if the entity is registered in GST, he is not in composition legal, he is required to maintain books of account in GST. And if anybody gives disclaimer that the data is not available in tax audit, whether there is a great compliance.
In fact, sir, disclaimer will invite further issues.
Yeah.
So, in my view, that even though there is a thin line of difference between disclosure and disclaimer, the damage that will be done to the client in terms of disclaimer will be larger than giving a disclosure. So, disclosure is safeguarding a client, saying that, look, he is a client, he is a registered person. These are his issues, these are his problems. And that is the reason why he has not been able to maintain the records in the manner is required. Now here, the law gives you that power. The law says, you don't need to do this, you don't need to maintain this. That is disclosure. But the law said you have to do this. You have not done that. then it's a disclaimer that you have to give. That is required. That is fine.
Yes, sir. Now, if we go one by one, sir, whether what discussions we have done, if we make a summary and if we take a complete one by one clause, para by para, please let's take it and then we will go for the further question and answers. So let's go through para 82.1 in our lesson guidance book, sir. Here we have given the discussion and the detailing of breakup of total expenditure. Yes, in detail. So that we have discussed that it appears that head-wise and nature-wise expenditure are
Not to be given separately. Staff welfare expenses, raw material purchases, that one need not, total is required.
There is a table number 40 in the GST audit, which was 9C.
Yes.
Where there is a major-wise expenditure asked.
Now
And even that is not made mandatory. So in line with that, we did not have to. But for working paper, if anybody maintains that we are supposed to. Now we move to sir, next paragraph, depreciation. I think
That is already discussed.
we have already discussed in detail. Yes. I think nothing to discuss more. Now we come to
Schedule
82.3. Schedule 3. Here also we have discussed in detail that schedule 3 are neither supply of goods, not supply of services. Yes. Yes. And where to be put it. Now we come down to 82.4. Here, wholly and exclusively related to business and profession.
Exactly.
So what is your say on this, sir?
Yes, sir. See, whenever you are doing something for your own personal expenses, the distinction has to be made. So only those expenses which are exclusively for business, exclusively debited your P&L account as an expenditure of the business, only that has to be reported. Fixed asset, yeah. Personal things need not be reported.
Like in case of a proprietor,
Yes.
drawings are there.
That goes to capital account. That goes to capital.
But fixed assets need to be.
That is true.
Yeah. Now we come down to clause 82.5. The format of clause 44 in form 3CD is given, and the format we have completely discussed, and we have to differentiate it for categories. We have detailed we discussed this. 82.7. What are the exemptions and otherwise? We have discussed the definition of income supply also.
They have also given various notifications for us. But can look into that.
What is non-GST supply, non-taxable supply, that we have covered. And section 9 as rightly pointed out for user, alcohol, petroleum. Yes. Yes. Now 82.10, that is pertaining to the compensation scheme. We deliberated it, we discussed it, that the bill of supply is issued and wherever possible, the data should be given.
Yes.
Then we come down to column number 5 also. Here we have discussed that expenditure relating to other registered should come here, and this is going to be an important column. Yes. Then the language of payment, column number 6, which you have rightly pointed out, that don't go by the word to word. Otherwise, sundry debtors and creditors and previous year details. Actually, sir, just out of box. Any relevance with 180 days and reversal of input tax credit and link of this payment back to 80?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah. Now we come down to 80.40. Expenditure related to entities not registered in under GST. Yes, we have discussed it, and we have also said that appropriate reconciliation should be kept and kept for the verification in future. And 82.5 clause, which is
What is expenditure?
what is expenditure that has been already been discussed. And yes, sir, you have rightly pointed out and discussed in large. That is the different GST number
Various numbers.
and one
Tax or related tax or.
Then we come down to 82.70.
This is the guidance which you have given us, but yeah, in what format they can ask for the data. You can expand it also. In fact, this is just a guidance that we have given. You can expand it also, and if members feel that sir, no sir, this can be in a different format, please send it to us. We will certainly work on that in future.
And sir, one more, just a suggestion, please. Those who are using Tally
Yes, sir.
accounting software, there is the GST module in that case. And there are the different formats of GSTR1, that is for filing GSTR1, and there is GSTR2, which was the earthquake form, it was kept pending and it is not there. But can you provide that GSTR2 data if the accounting is done properly? So that GSTR2 report of Tally, if all the vouchers are either free, that can be a good working papers.
Exactly. I agree with you. I agree with. Can be a good working paper, provided the data is maintained.
Correct.
Yes. Now, just to intervene here, sir.
Yes.
You are aware the new format of the GST returns is under discussion by the government. And our committee also took enormous steps to elicit views from our members.
Yes.
And September 15th has been fixed at the last date by the government to give our views. We have collated everything, and wherever members feel that you have not given your views on the new GSTR returns, that is going to be a totally different experience for all of you. Once these forms are notified, maybe January or February or whatever date it is, or maybe next April year 2023 onwards. So this particular format, if you have not seen, please see that. We have received mails from our committee also. Have a look at it so that you'll be able to appreciate and comprehend the data requirement and the needs which are required for maintaining the data. Please, sir, look into that.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, sir, I am just putting here a new format of discussion. There are two types. One is the sales and one is the purchase.
Yes.
Now, in GST, we are having Form 3B.
Yes.
That data is taken up by income tax in Form 26 AS.
Yes.
It is. So, if we look from our tax audit compliance point of view, or say from GST compliance of view, many notices were issued earlier that you are shown that much amount of sales in 3B and you are showing in profit and loss this much, this is your Form 26. Yes. Now, if we see for the purchases, we have A and B in GST. And in income tax, they are providing AIS and EIU. That is transaction wise reporting and the annual information. And in that, sir, they are giving the two-way data from GSTR1 of the supplier and giving the list from whom you have purchased.
Yes. Government is doing that.
So, sir, when we are reporting in this clause 44, this AIS data, which is very impact, it is not complete, yes. But slowly, where we are heading, sir?
Sir, but the tax compliance is going to become much more transparent. That is what is my take on this. Much more transparent, and the details that are being asked exactly in clause 44, in my view, it become much more easier to fill in the computer. That is what I fathom. I don't know the other side of it, but let's see how things go.
So, sir, the data which the tax departments are collecting and the way the government is thinking, they are much ahead. Yes. So, dear friends, what we learned from our discussion with Chairman sir, that the days have come that wherever the reporting is there under sales or say under purchases, we must have adequate knowledge of both the laws of income tax as well as GST. And if we are providing single window services from our firm to the client, and the roles and responsibility changes, and we have to be well prepared. Because tomorrow the client will come and say that this is from human report, your report and maybe it's coming to us. So friends, today we deliberated a lot, and it was a wonderful idea from our chairman sirs that we will have a question answer like discussion, and hope you people have enjoyed that question answer like discussion. And now we are going towards the questions asked by the members, because it has been our endeavor and our chairman's vision is that whatsoever it may be, we must handle our practicing members and support them for resolving the practical queries. So maximum time is given for the resolving of your queries. So I am stopping here the discussion, and I am starting the question and answer window. So I am just logging there, and we can view the questions here, and I am sharing the screen. Impli, screen is visible.
Impli is there. Technical
Yes,
support.
sir, screen is not visible, but I'm there. Screen is not
Okay.
visible.
Yeah, total 145 questions are being
Will you
asked.
be able to
I'm
bring those questions on the screen, Impli? Is it
Yes.
possible?
145 questions are there.
Please bring it on the screen, Impli.
एक
Please bring it on the screen. Yeah, please bring it. Yes, in fact, we also have here. But the first question is from Mr. A.R. Lakshmanan from Pudukkottai. Whether is it necessary to report non-GST supplies such as bank interest, depreciation, salary, etc.? We have answered that during the course of our discussion.
Yes.
So next question.
Next. The next question is
From
from
the Dollarton
Jaipur.
Please, sir.
Partnership firm with a turnover less than 1 crore and net profit less than 6 to 8%. Whether required audit under section 44 review to salary the interest to partner. If not, then should the firm file returns simply without tax audit and without showing profit? Without showing profit required. I think it's a income tax question, sir. So we are not answering right now, but we can answer if the time permits.
Vijay Rajendran from Chennai. Yeah. Easiest and most organized way to capture the data at the initial stage of its occurrence and recording in the books. Design of ledgers in the books of accounts, any good guidance at that level really helps. I think we have tried to, we have tried to give you that guidance also. In fact, tally data is there. If tally is not there, the way we have deliberated today, I think we'll be able to understand whatever was our intention behind it.
Even AIS.
Yeah, annual information report.
Yes. Then Kishore Bodhra from Mumbai. Whether prepaid expenses and provision for expenses invoice not required needs to be reported. We have shown that it should be net off, need not be reported. It should not be covered. Noida. If the client fails to provide the details as required, or because of the quantum of the transaction, it has become highly improbable to obtain the data in the desirous format, how we should report?
Mayank, I would like to say, I repeat it one more time. We have already told that also. But friends, whatever possible you report. Don't give a blank report, please. I humble request you. Please don't give a blank report. Whatever possible, to the extent possible, give. Mayank.
And this is the first year.
Yeah.
If we start not reporting, then the same habit will continue in the future. So make a habit, make efforts. Then we come down to the next. Reddy Vinay from Bangalore. In some article, it says that clause 44 is in abeyance for the financial year 21-22. Whether that is true? No, it is not. It is applicable. Hitesh Shah from Vadodara. If a company is situated in SEZ, how the reporting will be done? company obtains goods and services under LUT. Sometimes reimbursements made for expenses incurred to the employees consultant etc. In that case, how to be put it?
In fact, friend, the unit is situated in SEZ.
Yes.
Okay. The company is obtaining goods and services through LUT. LUT is obtaining. Reimbursement to employees, etc., are to be excluded. They are to be excluded because if it goes as a part of your remuneration, your emoluments, etc., it goes there. Otherwise, as we said today, you need to make a distinction between a registered entity under GST and unregistered under GST. What you are doesn't matter.
Right.
What you are doesn't matter. What is an expenditure and that is given to whom, that matters. So you need to report.
Yes.
Satish Shetty from Pune.
Satish Shetty from Pune. Where to show the expenses
given the
like
guidance.
decisions
They have
have
given the
been
guidance.
already discussed.
Vikas
Then
Kumar.
Vikas Kumar from Ranchi. As per the guidance note under clause 44(1), depreciation, deduction from bad debt, etc. are not expended, should not
I
be
think
reported.
I've just said this query registered. We have already given a proper guidance on this. So I think you would have heard us, you would understand this. Pondicherry Ravichandran. Good afternoon. Good afternoon,
Yes.
sir.
Whether clause 44 is to be filled up for hospital proprietary in view of exemption. How to find out, identify the composition dealer from GSTR returns.
Fact, sir, hospitals are exempted. That is what we said in the beginning itself. Whether you are registered in GST or not is not the question. The person from whom you purchased, whether he is registered or not, that is the question that is asked. You may be exempted entity, no doubt about it. So the audit is not of the person who is registered or not registered. Audit is of the person from whom you purchased. You are an entity. You are under particular AB. You buy from unregistered, registered. That is what is to be reported.
Correct. Then Kamlesh Shah from Mumbai. Do we need to send details of all the expenditure even if supply received from non-registered dealer or exempted supplies? Yes, we have to report. Then Kapil Agarwal from Mumbai. Clause 44 GST of income tax audit. Okay. Then Mahesh Vora from Mumbai. Format given is not easy to compile data. Instead, if bifurcation can be given between registered GST and other such become easier. Yeah. Then Vijay Napavalia from Mumbai. GST paid on imports, whether under registered or unregistered. IGST.
IGST that is paid on.
Yes.
The customs authority.
Yeah.
Unregistered report.
Yes. Correct. So imports is going to column number 7 unregistered. Then Chandra Reddy from Hyderabad.
No, that's right. Good evening, sir.
Okay.
Good evening, Chandra Reddy.
Ramakrishnan Sridhar. Imports of goods. I think we have answered. Yeah. Vijay Napavalia Mumbai.
I'll tell you why. Why imports should be mentioned there. See, the IGST is not collected as per the provisions of the GST law. The IGST is collected as per the Customs Act. As per the Customs Act. So it is a countervailing duty. Okay, it is a countervailing additional duty under section 3, subsection 5 of the Customs Act. That is the reason why IGST is collected. Okay, and credit is given once the Customs Department files the relevant data. So it has got nothing to do with GST at all. So you have to take it up only under the unregistered column and not under registered column. Did you, sir?
No. That VG Taraknath, Hyderabad. The table related to clause 44 in Form 3CD, need expenditure on account of corporation tax, GST and income tax to be shown. If not excluded, under which provision of GST regulation? So need not to show the expenditure, remove it from column number 2 itself. Then again, Vijay Napavalia Mumbai, GST paid on reverse charge, we have already answered. Then Ramchandra Sridhar from Unregistered, diesel and petrol already we have answered.
Yeah.
Sunil Kaldar from Udaipur, weather expenditure.
Once Ramakrishna Sridhar is saying, diesel and petrol expenses, which head has to be reported? Unregistered. There's got nothing to do with the.
If the petrol pump dealer is registered,
Then you go and register.
then I was not exam.
Yes,
So income supplied.
yes. So need to done that.
Whether expenses debited under trading and manufacturing account.
Yes.
Total expenditure what is that? Then Ajit Nandan in Mumbai. Since clause 44 has come to notice of the assessee, the assessee is not ready with the details.
Already told that.
We are already, this is the first year, right? Not possible, disclosure. Then again, Sunil Kaldar.
Can you give disclaimer? At your own risk, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Sanjay Rastogi, Delhi.
Already answered.
Yes.
Salary and staff. Hanumantarao. Rajamundry, can we listen to the discussion? You are listening, isn't it? Hello, is it started? Are we on? Is the session started? Why? I think we did start in time. Okay, please proceed. Come here. Damodar Purwalkar. Okay, that is not, we don't know that why the government wants it, governments do. Rajesh Mal Sardarman Loda from Mumbai. What will be the treatment of following expenses? Payment of taxes, property tax, GST, custom duty, MCA fees and other fees paid to government or government authority, BP or PSI. I think I already deliberated in detail.
Louis Jha from Delhi.
He is not able to connect. Internet is highly disturbing. I don't know why. It's at your end.
Mahesh Vora.
He wants a postponement. You are not on that. The cost applicable to professional not registered with GST. If the tax audit is there, yes. Shivkant Tiwari numbers with the tax one cost audit should not be part of TAR. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Babulal Sankla. So that we're just reporting a penalty interest on DDS. You have given a registered on its other, not everything goes on the unregistered. That's it.
And it will be out of pollution taxes. So
All
not
Gopal Dhara Gurugram, diesel and petroleum item are not at notified. It's called exempt.
Manish Luia.
Expenses include prepaid expenses which were paid in earlier years.
Not to be taken. Ashish Gupta. Thus, depreciation we already discussed.
Depreciation is not an expenditure.
Ishi Agrawal. Which type of expenditure in total expenditure?
We have discussed that.
Gopal.
Dhara Gurugram, operating lease and expenditure incurred is not part of. What is he trying to ask? I don't know. Okay, let him write to us, please.
Yeah.
Sharad Kabra Jaipur, because many questions are there.
150 plus questions.
So column 2 of para 44, we have to put total amount of expenditure incurred during the year. We have already told how it gets tallied.
Yeah.
Well, yes, very good question.
Fine.
Okay, thank you.
K.
Raghavendra Swami from Bengaluru. File the 3 CD without filling 44. Shall I file revise? Please do that, sir. Please do that. Very good. Shanti, from Tirupur. Whether we have to give expenditure wise and consolidated total in clause 44 this year. I think we have told you no, don't give expenditure wise, only consolidation.
You can do in working paper for your own purpose, but not required for cost.
Shankar from Bengaluru.
We
Arohit Gupta, Mumbai. Is it required to report all expenses segregated in the report or only a single? I think single amount.
Shankar V.
The total expenditure include capital expenditure, yes.
Yes.
Sharad Kabra Jaipur again. Is it proper to report incomplete information for the 44 as per my view? It is rather advised that they report fully accurate figures. I put your comment as a qualification. So that will leave it to you. We have given our view. How good is your client and how good will be able to withhold your client when it comes, it's up to you. Ananda Subramanian from Kalamia. Interest should be included in total expenditure. Interest is an expenditure, yes.
Yes, certainly. From banks, it is there, it will be registered, and if it from the private parties who are not registered, then it will.
Please do not link the expenditure to tax component.
Yeah.
Please do not link that.
It will be exempt from registered, interest from bank.
Bhavana from Delhi. What about expenditures for which GST paid and RCF? We are given a guidance.
Delhi.
Necessary report information in clause 44, even if assessee is not able to give any details of breakup. I think they should be able to give, sir. Whatever data you give, please do that. One sugar,
Equal sugar in Delhi.
GST refund rejected by GST department, shown as error. It's a bad debt. If it all treated as a bad debt.
Bangalore. Should we need to declare capital expenditure? Yes.
Nothing from Chennai. Capital expenditure, yes.
Yes. Avik Jain from Mumbai. But as per guidance, note on column 2, total 1 lakh will come and there will be a reconciliation for depreciation by dates. Para 82.4. 82.14 says that you make a reconciliation and in column number 2, we showed total expenditure which is from registered and unregistered. It's very clear. It's very clear. Rishabh Agrawal. Allahabad. So how we will bifurcate under composition and unregistered here?
You have the data, you need to do that, sir.
Yeah. In the first year there will be problem.
So we'll shake.
So we'll check Pune. Whether we need consider whether we
You need to consider staff welfare expenses. Sir, as we told you, no, register, unregistered, that's all. That is what you need to do. If you don't have to break
part
up
of
this
salary, then it will be in schedule 3.
Yeah.
If it is not part of salary, then registered or unregistered. Sign when to
do.
sir, but guidance note said that column number 2 total expenditure including capital expenditure and also that there is a sum of 6, 7 did not match with column number 2. It is correct. We covered capital and revenue both. Then Chetan Kumar, Bangalore. Sir, according to guidance note, schedule 3 items are not required to be reported. We have made it very clear.
Yes, not required to be reported.
Make a reconciliation and keep it in your
Yes.
working, not put it in notes.
From Salem. Yeah, you have to give concern, sir. Whether these breakup details are required to be given by charitable education trust, which is not registered with GST, sir. GST does not distinguish between a charitable entity, corporate, individual. Does not distinguish at all. We are not on that. In the tax audit report, clause 44 is there. Details are asked. Please give to the extent possible if it is given. But give fully, give. Whatever you can give, and then give a disclosure. Don't give a disclaimer.
Sushil Kumar Dalmia, Delhi. Sir, can you?
Intention is not happening. Akash, Noida.
We have already discussed. Then Akash Noida. For example, insurance bill issued for amount of 10 lakh GST and we put prepaid 5 lakh and expenses of 5 lakh. So in question in clause 5 lakhs to 5 lakh will not pay. Whatever debited to pay, total expenditure 5 lakhs.
Yeah.
Rajendra Karnati from Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Where should we report imports of goods? We have already discussed this, along with reverse charge. Ruhi Gupta, sir, expenses related to
We fix it as we have asked.
Punu Jain from Udaipur. Here, sir, too many internet breakup and discussions. Mahesh Mura, does expenditure include purchase import of goods also? Yes. Upali Save, Thane, whether RCM expenditure will come? Yes. Shivangi Jain, Gupta. Hi sir, should we show purchases also in total expenditure in case of trading second hand? Yes. Mayank Chaudhary, is zero rated part of exempt services? Yes. Damodar Talwar, Mumbai. Only details of expenditure with regard to unregistered entity was enough. Instead of asking unnecessary detail, and it is otherwise available. Good point, but it is not relevant for
We take it up.
Yes. Sakshi Agrawal, Chembur, Mumbai.
During the year 1 lakh opening provision is reversed. Expense account is credited. Against that provision, 80,000 actual expenses is booked. Expense account is debited with that. In fact, I'm not able to understand this question at all. Please write to us.
So,
But there is not a question also. What is asking?
Surya Prakash Agrawal, Mumbai. whether donation given to one NGO which is not GST registered distribute fee in government school to the student where to reflect.
Unregistered.
Unregistered.
Sorry.
Rajesh Sharma from Siddharth Nagar.
हो गया
Petrol pump sale duplicate.
हो गया
We have already discussed income and taxable. Sohail Sheikh Pune, in total expenditure, whether we take figure of
consumption of
consumption of raw material as shown in P&L, yes, whatever debited P&L. Jay Javani, Indore, Javani, Indore. Whether interest paid on loans taken from banks or other individual needs to be reported in clause 44 and included in total expenditure.
You can exempt
Yes.
exempt right.
Yes, from banks, it will go for exempt registered, and if it is from individual, if they are not registered, it will go to column number 7. And
Additional Sadhamal Loda.
why?
That to show sundry balance written off.
Remove it out.
Remove it out in class from class to its.
Yes. Vanita Sangvi, Udaipur, is both revenue and capital expenditure.
Yes.
Yes. RK,
Chendilware, Chennai.
Yeah.
Please clarify the similar disclosure requirement was brought in GST 9C, the version of ITC can be availed and not availed, which are subsequently done away with as option. A class 44 disclosure is in tax or is intended to address in department subsequent. No, sir. Not like that.
then comes Srinidhi, Chennai. Sir, can you throw some light on GST payable on renting of furniture?
This is not our case.
Yeah. Next time we will have. Sai from Bengaluru. Sir, guidance note not recommended to deduct salaries, depreciation from total expenditure. We have shown that it should be a reconciled and shown in column number 2. Remove it and show it in column number 2 and keep reconciliation materials. Srinidhi,
GST for charitable trust and how this reporting will affect them. We don't understand your question. It won't affect them. Why should they affect them? It's got nothing to do with the GST on the charitable trust activities. Mani Kumar,
Bangalore, whether interest
straight to partners.
it will be due for unregistered. Flash Mura, motor car expenses,
Already
we have to bifurcate registered and unregistered. Udyan Mittal, we are PSU paying GST under RCM for
Security service, CIS.
services from CI.
will go under.
We go.
Yes.
Yes.
Check with CISF. It is not that CISF need not be registered. Check with them. Are they registered? Are they unregistered? That's all. If they are unregistered, go to unregistered.
Next, Patenka Sanjeev. If no ITC is claimed, then whether to be reported, yes, it has to be reported.
There is nothing to do with
It is
ITC.
standard Pune, how to report provision of expenses, did not be reported. Manoj Thakur,
Chandrapur.
Chandrapur, report purchases on which IGST was claimed, whether to show in column number 5, already shown by sir, column number 7, URD. Rupali Savi, Thane, prepaid expenditure, no, it is not part of total expenditure. Then Rajmal Sardarmal Luda, in column of total amount of expenditure, should we report expenditure shown in P&L? Net of
Prepaid
outstanding expenses should, you have to reconcile it as per the P&L and take out the provisions.
It is not the question of tallying, sir. Many people are telling that my total expenditure in P&L account, my cost for everything must tally. No. If it tallies, then there is something wrong.
Sumit Sharma from Delhi. Is it sufficient to show only GST related expenditure only or to give full
We have
expenditure?
deliberated on this.
We have deliberated much more on this. Sunil Jalan from Cuttack. Kindly clarify about what for GST late fee depreciation, profession tax, profit and loss on sale of fixed asset, bad debts, already discussed.
Already discussed.
We have to remove it and show that. Then Akash, expenses recorded as on 31st March, but invoice issued in May 20. It is not covered in clause 44 total expenditure. It will be part of reconciliation. Village standard Pune. In case sugar manufacturing industry, generally the goods purchased are firstly debited to store account and on consumption expenses are debited to profit and loss account. So whatever total expenditure is there, debited to P&L account, that will be taken. Nana goes from Kolkata. When assessing buys, again GST invoice, but due to non-filing or wrong filing of GSTR1 returned by seller, the buyer is not getting credit in GSTR. Whether such purchases need to be column 5? Yes, yes, it's from column 5 because they are from registered. RP same question answer. This is related. Harshit Mehta Rajput. Sir, please elaborate what will come under other registered entity clause 5. We have already elaborated. Harshit Mehta, sorry sir for earlier. Supriya Dalvi, for financial year 21-22 amendments can be done in GSTR 9 September.
At which time will be considered for reporting?
Clause 44. It will be from April to March and reporting is as per books of account. Please be very sure that you are reporting whatever there in books of account, not in GST.
Yes, Sunil Jalan Katak.
Sunil Jalan Katak.
Kindly also clarify about what to do about cash discounts passed to registered entities.
Cash discount, what is your accounting policy? If you are reducing it from the purchases, then it will net. If you are showing in the sales, if you are reducing the sales, then it will be net of sales.
Shut up. Professional tax, staff welfare, daily labor wages need to be reported on master. Professional tax, no staff welfare expenses, one of the kinds you don't know. Daily labor wages unregistered maybe. What about expenditure for lively tasks? Only discuss. Satisha, include restaurant services, goods purchased from unregistered dealers of exempted commodity. These vegetables, meat. Yeah, there, clause number 3.
If it is unregistered, clause number 7.
There.
If it is registered,
Clause number
income, clause number 3.
GST charge a bank on bank charges. No, the bank charges are refunded. And there is no bank charges. Nothing there, nothing comes.
Mini Kumar.
Yeah.
Expenditure incurred and RCL paid. You already discussed.
Manila charge at Chennai. Where to report these expenses? Import purchase, custom duty, purchase of shares by a trader in shares, STT, professional tax, license fee, GST debited. Individually, we are not asking, individual breakup is not asked. As we have told you, import unregistered,
Purchase of share.
purchase of shares. Purchase of the share broker is a registered person, isn't it?
Share is not.
STT is asking, professional tax, everything goes unregistered.
And if it's a shares, then shares are not.
That you do, they are their outfit ambit itself.
So
Reduce it.
to reduce total, make a reconciliation item. Ashish Panchal. Bill imports of goods, services, expenditure, in column number 7. Yes, we have answered.
Again.
This disclosure requirement is to identify the skill of unregistered.
Maybe.
Ashish Panchal. In the case where taxes are required paid under RCM, generally the accounting person does not pay GST. How to be captured? We have already discussed RD URD. Supriya Dalvi Mumbai. In case we put the expenditure to registered entity, but payments made to registered entity post completion. I think payment we have said that don't refer to payment.
Read less expenditure.
What about the payment done to government?
Unregistered. Find out who is government. Exam department, government, state government, which government? Entity will decide.
Ujjwala Desai. There may be a scenario where the GSTN of the vendors are not captured in the accounting system for reasons like ABG, RTC, cases for In some cases, the vendor is actually registered, but the GST is not approved. My question is whether we need to find out GST of vendor or report it registered.
No. I you should qualify. Just check whether the register and register, that's all.
Reshma from Mumbai. When service itself covered under RC, the company would not maintain data. Puneet Jain, Ajmer, in total expenditure column 2.
Already answered, already answered.
Answer, we have to make the reconciliation. Parikshit Joshi. Mumbai, can we give a disclaimer that the client could not make the breakup?
Cannot give breakup expenditure.
We have already discussed what is disclaimer, what is disclosure, and accordingly they have to take a call. Sandesh Patil, Navi Mumbai. In case of imported purchases, already we discussed. Sanjeev Jain, is it applicable for 22-23? Yes. It's a assessment year. For financial year, it will be 21-22. LT Vishwan Bangalore. Notification says cross body good is kept and avails. It is not kept and avails. From 21-22 we have to report. Vijay Kamat, is capital expenditure in?
Yeah.
Yes. Then come the
Balasubramanian. Difficult.
yeah.
Reflection into the following knowledge, but everything, that everything will improve, sir. Siddhartha Shankar, Commissioner. Please come again, what needs to be done on assessing not registered required to whatever. See, it is not a live question answer we are asking. You had sent a question, now we are reading it, so we don't know what you're trying to ask, write to us. Be present on Nizamabad. Expenditure relating to labor charges, Somali, loading, unloading charges, that will be disclosed. Registered or registered, that's it. Abhiram Chief, the bank interest already discussed. Rajendra Reddy, Hyderabad. Sir, in case of revenue charge, we will raise self-invoice and reverse charge, sorry. The same way to register and cost for your process. Already, I have told you, we have already discussed reverse charge. Nagarajan Kompet, Chennai. What is the consequence of not complying with the clause 44? Be ready for anything, even for a search. Samir Mahajan, Vasai. How material consumption to be bifurcated between registered and unregistered suppliers to supplier. Yeah, I understand it is difficult, but you need to get this data from the client account will be able to give you. Just try. What about disclosing prepaid expenditure? We already discussed this.
Ramchandra Pondicherry.
How can you back this program since there are a lot of internet issues? So you stick to this program again. Because the internet issues will be at your end, isn't it? It is, we are only telecasting, so it comes from one place, you get the feed. In between, it will be, the office, have you recorded this event?
Yes.
Office?
Yes.
Yes, sir. It will be hosted at ICI TV also.
Okay, so office is telling you, it will be hosted at ICT. Thank you very much, Chandra. Thank you.
Chandrasekhara BB, Bangalore. What is the treatment for interest on loan? We have discussed. Manik Roy.
Fourth question I already answered. Nagarajan Kompet. Consequences again. I have told you. Ashish Anand, Mumbai, yet not on YouTube but on ICT.
Chetan Gar.
Or interest on loan to individual already done.
Bank
Interest already discussed. Sabarinathan Chennai. The person is a lawyer and doctor.
Yes,
It is.
rapidly.
Manikumar, if the GST returns comply with central office and branch is sharing that central office branch of and share data be considered. Yes, you can consider. Reverse is for that effect. Reconciliation is not possible because of non-available of sufficient data. What I will do?
Disclose.
So,
Ritesh Vyas, Rajkot. If we get the recording.
recording you won't get, sir. You will listen to the recording, that's all. You will not schedule the recording, listen to it.
Rohit Gupta.
There are a large number of small entries, it not possible to segregate it down into register. And send it. Yeah, you can take the chance.
Abhishek
Kumar, Delhi. Advice details already answered. A case case of block credits, that will report GST portion of block expenditure. Sir, register and register, sir. Don't confuse it with ITC and all those stuff.
DK Patel Rajkot.
Wrong.
Congratulations on deliberation.
First time someone is appreciating. Thank you, Patel.
Maraviri is rejecting to GST.
Trust or trust.
Plus, even if it is not registered in GST, registered in GST, we have to whether the above transaction attack is.
So you write to us, sir. This is the different question that you are asking. Get a CSI data into where should the GST portion of block expenditure? What is the way of block expenditure? It's got nothing to do with ITC, sir.
It's in now, Kolkata.
Import transactions report told already informed. So change charge. So it is not liable for GST. It's Minty, they will only thank. Yeah, they're Puri. Jagannath Puri. Rohit Gupta. Is Rohit Gupta has asked 4-5 questions. M2 means what is it? Mumbai 2?
Yeah.
Or is some kind of a code word of a James Bond film? In which column the reporting of any late fee or interest paid? My dear sir, registered, unregistered, that's all.
Then
Naga Kiran Kumar Jonalaka Kadi Patri. Sir, the reporting requires the disclosure of payment made to registered entities. The approval account, invoices received and payment made can differ. Yes, sir. Payment means expenditure. Don't go strictly by the word payment. Expenditure.
Kamal Rathod,
Delhi. That's import of goods and services. Already told Samesh Kumar, Rajnan Gaon, how can tax the supply register? That side doesn't get the data from the client.
Rohit Gupta,
M2, again, our M2. Which column the reporting of any demand raised government? It won't come anywhere. It won't come anywhere. For exempted entities in 180 entirely is cost. System not configured to capture. What is the question? I don't know.
so he is not able to bifurcate in the return. So we have to show whatever debited paid.
Here in Mahendra Malde.
If there is a transaction of a purchase and sale between the two units of the same company, whether these transactions are to be reported.
Yes.
Both the units are different state. I think this is a good question. In GST, it is a supply between two distinct entities.
Yes.
But in income tax, it is not a expenditure. So it will not be covered in total expenditure. And for GST, it will be a reconciliation point. Good question. Sharad Mohan, Delhi. How to show expenses on RCM? We have already discussed. CA Darshan Jain, different types of taxes paid. This will all be reconciliation items. Yes. Rohit Gupta, in which column late fees?
Our M2 man.
M2 man, already discussed. Rohit Gupta, capital expenditure, already discussed.
Yogi
Ahmedabad. Sir, a company had purchased office on with the builder and charged GST after deducting 1/3 from the land. Please enlighten on whether the amount equal to 1/3 of the total expenditure has to be reported in exam. Sir, whatever you purchased, whatever you paid, you debited in the books of account, that need to be shown here. As per books of accounts.
Siddharth Shankar. CSR expenditure. Yeah. Register on register Siddharth.
Exam can taxable.
Our Puri Jagannath. Step eligible ITC taken fixed assets where to show. Sir, it is not talking about eligible ITC is not an expenditure.
If your purchases are net, you show the net assets amount.
Taraknath salary to working partner, salary schedule 3. Example.
Now,
Up to.
GST late fees paid, it not, it is paid to GST and net. GST and net.
It reduce it from English money, Vadodara.
In case of provision from expenses, how to make reconciliation? Again, Rohit, F and O. It's a shares and securities. It's a reconciliation item. CA Dimple Banushali, usually.
Where purchases of goods from SEZ to be reported. SEZ charges that. Sorry.
Anita Singh, what is the object of our currency? Chandrasekhar BV, whether see capital work in progress is an expenditure.
Whatever amount has been paid is an expenditure, especially to register and register.
Yeah, it's a fixed asset, capital work in progress. If you are not capitalized, but you are booked it in the books of account under CWIP.
Good late fee, GST interest to bank already done. Arun Bangalore, India's adjustments will be part of expenditure.
Reconciliation.
Sanjay Madanlal Sundani Mumbai. Transporter private company not required to receive the GST law. Cost whatever required. Rajesh Sadam Loda Mumbai again question. Due to poor network, unable to understand fully reason. Please upload today video recording Okay, or is it raining at all? You're not aware of that. Chandrasekhar, Bangalore. Is accrual or cash will affect my expenditure in this class? No. And Anuj Kumar Kothari, Chennai, if you report revenue and capital separate, combined reporting to it, sir. Shanti, to summarize points showed in last 10 minutes. Please watch the video, ICIT, Nilesh Chandar, how to report prior period expenses, what are debited to field account reporting. Sunil Jalan, attack cash discounts not netted off, already discussed by Vice Chairman, sir. Nagarajan Purumpet, my question is not answered by which question? Answered, sir, okay. Please give us time, sir. We are discussing. Anita Singh, Raipur, whether, when?
Any
option. Rima, Ernakulam, is reporting of prepaid. Already answered this.
It's a guidance note which is available.
Yeah, no PPT.
Not
Prajakta Shah, the party wise breakup.
not required.
No. Here are
Pala.
nice. Thank you, Balaji. Thank you. Ashish Anand Mumbai, whether provision for expenditure should be for the fast part of
Reconciliation act.
Will this I was a very good session. Thank you very much. Respondent Young, right. Whether can be report as reporting under this clause based statistical in nature. The assessee is not maintaining any research or record or analysis of purchases. Please be ready for a search operation in your client's office and residence also. You will be asked to come and give explanation. Please don't do that. Please don't give them. And then let us not tell the government that they have done this and that. Let us give the data wherever possible. Last 3 weeks, Upali Save, and these reconciliation between PL item and exclude item to be disclosed.
You can disclose in SS 700 if you want to do the reconciliation. Otherwise, it will be the reconciliation. So, whether the treatment of ITC on block we already discussed. Again, side dates. Please read full question.
What is full question, sir? What is the treatment of reporting ITC on block credit under 75? If it is regarded as expenditure,
You show it under registered.
that's all. Nothing to do with ITC. Your expenditure
Gross.
has got nothing to do with whether ITC is available, not available, blocked, unblocked. Registered, unregistered. That's all. Why you are confusing it?
You are dividing that into P&L, whatever.
Sorry. Srilata for reversal of expenses to PL. Download further.
There are so we have answered 190.
No, sir, still further. 200.
Damodar,
Thank you.
thanks for the thank you. Custom duty paid.
Skip Jay Gajwani Indo. Custom duty paid.
Reconciliation item.
It is unregistered, no?
Reconciliation.
It's a reconciliation item. Because it is taxes and duties, na?
Yes.
So it directly go on reconciliation. Clause to the reconciliation.
Yeah. So friends, now the time is coming to end. There are 4 minutes to us. Please have your detailed notes or questions resolved here. And we have tried our level best to answer your queries. Near about 200 questions have been answered. Thanks to our chairman, his strength of answering, his strength of knowledge, his strength of deliberation, which have brought us. Because 200 run banana आसान नहीं रहता दोस्तों. और thanks to our team, which is working day and night, Ajay, then our technical support team, then Infleet God, who are there, Secretary Smita Mac, who are there with us, and
Friends, just to intervene, because we are on a program, our Honorable Vice Chairman's vision of bringing out short videos. Please go to those short videos which are hosted on the GST website of our institute, and please look at that and share it with your known people also. It will give a brief understanding, not more than 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute video on each and every aspect, 10 points. 10 points. It's a 3 minutes or 4 minutes, not 10 minutes, sorry, 10 minutes, sorry. Please share those videos with your various friends and known clients and known entities, etc. They get a brief of gist of GST. It's an excellent way of learning, that is what the vice chairman's contribution, enormous contribution, I must say. And I should also thank him for giving this idea of this particular program and also being here and sharing his knowledge. He's a chartered accountant with extensive practice of indirect taxes also. He hails from the wonderful city of Aurangabad. And friends, let me tell you from the committee that we are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that ICAI is the last word for the government when it comes to GST. Government does not need to look at any other organization or forum. It is ICAI. ICAI means you and me and all of us together. Please write to us in the committee about your needs, your requirements, what is it that you want us to do, and sometimes how you want us to do, and offer your support in giving your valuable suggestions and views at all times whenever asked. So, on behalf of the committee, and Honorable Vice Chairman, Umesh, sir, I sincerely thank each and every one of you for being with us today, Saturday, and of course, wishing you all a happy Sunday. Yes, don't forget, there's a cricket match tomorrow, and it is there for all of us to entertain. And please ensure that you're all watching the match. Whatever happens is a game that wins, and whatever happens in GST also, it is you and me, us who are going to be the winners. Let us all contribute our might to this nation in terms of our work, in terms of our profession. Let us say with our head held high that we are chartered accountants. Thank you very much. Thank you, office.
Thank you.